Hello, my crafty friend, and thank you so much for tuning in to today's video. I'm really excited to get on with day 2 of our crafty gifts to make, and this gift would be especially appropriate for somebody who does junk journaling or bullet journaling or happy mail, pen pal type of stuff, because they are stickers. And these are not just any stickers. These are not the kind of stickers you can find in the supermarket next to the greeting cards or at the dollar store. These are special handmade stickers that we're going to put together kind of in themed styles. So the 3 styles I want to share with you today will be stickers made from just printables printed onto sticker paper, like these gemstone stickers I have here. Stickers made from extras that come on other printable sets, like this printable Victorian ephemera page that we'll be gluing down onto sticker paper. And that includes this set too. I'm sorry about the glare, but hopefully you still get the idea with these pretty things. So yeah, stickers made from stuff that you print. That variation is obviously for those of us who have a printer or maybe have access to a print shop. The second variation is extremely budget friendly, and it's going to be stickers made from things that will fussy cut out of promotional catalogs. So I don't know about you guys, but I get more catalogs than I will ever need. I don't think I've ordered from Fire Mountain Gems in over 2 years, but they still send me catalogs very regularly. And then my mom gets bits and pieces and Mary Maxim catalogs delivered this time of year, and she saves them for me for the crafting purposes. So if you have any type of old magazines or old catalogs, you can easily find things to turn into stickers from them. I'd also recommend thrifting for this kind of stuff. A lot of thrift shops have magazines, you know, a stack of old magazines for $1. Or even sometimes it's in a free pile at a yard sale. So they are out there to be found. And then the third variation is the one I'm the most excited about. And those are going to be fabric cluster stickers. And these are especially fun for those of us who love to make junk journals, because it's kind of like an instant decoration for your page. So yeah, what I'm working with here and what you're going to need as far as supplies are concerned. For the first variation, all you really need is sticker paper, a pair of scissors, and a printer, or have them printed at a print shop, and of course some digital art to use. For the other 2 variations, you'll need, like I said, magazines or catalogs, sticker paper, and a good glue stick. And then for the third variation, what you're gonna need is sticker paper, some fabrics, and a glue stick, as well as, if you can, Fabri-Tac glue. It's my absolute favorite for gluing down fabric. I know you'll love it too if you haven't used it yet. But anyway, I'll just leave that here because I think a white background is nicer than my floor, which is where I film. So I'm going to start by just cutting out some of these babies. This is a sticker set that I designed that comes with my printable kit. I forget what it's called. I think it's just called Crystals and Gemstones Writing Pack. And it's a set of printable stationery paper, just, you know, 5 sheets of crystal themed writing paper for writing letters or something. And then this is a bonus that comes with that printable set. I printed it full size, but you can also print it 2 per page to get them half the size, but I kind of wanted to do some big stickers here. So it's pretty obvious how to make something like this, and I'm just gonna start cutting right into it as we speak, or as I speak. Crystal healing, working with gemstones, working with the energy of the earth was one of my very first sort of spiritual passions. in life, and that's why I love to do crystal and gemstone and jewelry themed crafting. You'll have noticed probably a lot of my books have a crystal and gemstone theme. These are the easiest ones to cut, right? You just have to like follow the straight line. I like to fussy cut them right up to the line rather than leave a white space, just a personal preference. I think they look cool. They look cooler this way, and they can be added onto a collage without the need to ink the edges or anything. So there, we've got a little sapphire sticker, and it's only taken us a couple seconds. So yeah, I would say a pack of, maybe 10 to 12 crystal stickers would be such a cool gift, especially if you have a friend who's interested in things like this, like crystal healing and working with gemstones. This one's a multicolored fluorite. Fluorite is a gem for increased memory. It's especially recommended for students because who needs an increased memory more than somebody who's studying for an exam? Would make a great gift for anyone who's academically minded. But yeah, I'm obviously not going to cut out all of these on camera. That would take forever. But I wanted to do a little demonstration so that you can see just how easy it is. And you don't need to be too perfectionistic about it. Sorry if I'm going out of frame here. But look at how pretty that is. A little fluorite sticker. And for example, I'll just pull this over here. If you're doing a layout in a journal, the stickers look really cool. Just layered over words from a book page or a magazine page or whatever else it might be. Let's just do a couple more before we move on. Now, my printer very annoyingly cuts things off like this, but there's a way to avoid having the images cut off like that. So I'm kind of just trimming around this one to even it out. But don't worry, the actual printable kit includes the full view of this pretty little labradorite. The workaround for that, if your printer tends to do this too, is to click the option to print entire image rather than fill entire page. Yeah, this one's a fluorite too. Yeah, I got into crystal healing years and years ago when I moved to Vancouver for art school, and I arrived in Vancouver a week before classes were to begin, and that way I could get to know my bus route, get to know the city a little bit, start to feel comfortable before immediately starting classes. And on one of my exploratory trips to Granville Island, which is a kind of a touristy, fun area near to the school I attended, which is called Emily Carr University of Art. Granville Island at that time had quite a few psychic studios, tarot readers, astrologers, palmistry practitioners, and since I had some time to spend, and since I was at the beginning of a very new venture in my life, starting post-secondary education, I decided to treat myself to a tarot reading pretty spontaneously. And the lady who read my cards was an older lady named Elspeth, and the reading was at a place called the Psychic Studio. And anyway, she gave me a really cool reading that I might talk about more in another video if anyone's interested. But at the end of her reading, she told me to go to a shop called the Crystal Ark, which was also on Granville Island. And she didn't tell me what crystal to look for or what kind of a gemstone to go for. She just said, go to the crystal arc and pick something for yourself and wear it as a talisman so that you remember what you're really here for. And I guess that part I should share since I've kind of gone into it. She told me that she could see in my cards that even though I thought I had moved to Vancouver to go to school, I had really moved there to get on my spiritual path. And she also said that within 5 years, I would be doing the same kind of work she did, which was tarot reading. And interestingly enough, I did have a deck of tarot cards at that time, but I had never read for anybody else or even considered doing it professionally. It was sort of something I did for my own amusement and growth and mental health. You know, a lot of the cards have very inspiring messages, and even those that have sort of a negative connotation, they come with the spiritual lesson of how to make the most out of a negative situation that we find ourselves in. So anyway, yeah, I see tarot not as future prediction, but more as coming to terms with what's happening in our lives and getting a little spiritual guidance. But anyhow, I went to the crystal arc as Elspeth had suggested, and as soon as I walked in the door to this store, I felt the energy. It was almost overwhelming. I've always loved gemstones and jewelry and crystals, but I had never really opened myself to feel them before. Feel them in the sense of what kind of a vibration they have, what kind of energy they exude. And so it was kind of an awakening moment for me. And I'm sure my mind was extra open because I had just had that reading. But anyway, that shop became my refuge and really just an inspiring place to be. Whenever I had time between classes, I would go, and I developed quite a friendship with a girl named Christine, who was the manager of the shop at the time. And as fate would have it, I started getting more and more interested in crystal meditations and jewelry making techniques than in my fairly closed-minded art teacher's lessons. I did not enjoy art school. I found it kind of killed the vibe of my creativity more than it. I don't think I learned anything there as far as techniques are concerned. It didn't really change my style. It just sort of made me feel annoyed by the trends in modern art, the nepotism, the politics. Again, that's stuff for another video, but I find the crafting community and the online YouTube art community infinitely more educational and inspiring and purpose-driven and supportive of each other than art academia. So yeah, crystals, they became one of my favorite materials to work with, my favorite things to meditate with, and also one of my favorite things to give as gifts to people. I'm sure if you've seen any of my flip through videos, you'll hear me say I include at least one gemstone in each journal, and that way there's some sacred earth energy vibes in each one. But yeah, how cute is this? So these stickers, they work like sticker flakes. This one's a quartz cluster for clarity. And yeah, you just have to find a good little edge. And it, of course, is easier to do when I'm not doing it on camera. But yeah, the sticker just peels right off like this and can be put down on a book or an envelope or a letter, the same way you would use. Obviously, you know what the heck to do with stickers. I don't need to tell you. But yeah, this would be such an adorable little gift set for a crafty friend, for a pen pal, for somebody who likes crystals. Now, the other variation I want to share for sticker making, I almost said crystal making, I'm not Mother Nature, so I can't make crystals, and I don't believe the ones grown in labs count anyway. But yeah, the other variation. So I printed out sheets, all 4 sheets of a set that I have called Victorian Treasures. And I'm going to use these for another project that's coming up in this series. But since I had extra room on that sheet while I was designing them, I decided to include 2 more of these adorable little sparrows carrying spools of thread. And those are the perfect kind of thing to make into stickers. So we're going to use those 2. And I'm going to cut a few of the motifs out of this page, which is from a printable kit called Antique Lithographs. It's a German academic lithograph from the 1800s. For the record, it predates the atrocities committed by Hitler and the other horrible people who were with him. So back then, the swastika was not a symbol of hatred. It was an appropriated Eastern symbol taken from Buddhist and Hindu culture that was used kind of as a sign of good luck at the time. And so obviously a lot of people are very triggered and offended by that. So I would not use this as a sticker for just anybody, but if somebody understands the history and that there's not any kind of anti-Semitic or racist intention behind it, then you might want to go ahead and make them a sticker. Maybe even include a little note with it explaining that, you know, this is a sacred symbol from the traditions of the Eastern world and that it's being used in that context. But anyway, I'm working on a custom journal for my dear friend, the artist Kat Stone. And so since there was a really cool ornamented letter C, I'm going to make a sticker out of this one to include in the book that I'm making for her. And just like I did with the crystals, I'm just doing a little fussy cutting. Actually, I'm not going to fussy cut that yet. I'll fussy cut it after it's glued down onto the sticker paper, and that way I won't have to cut it out twice. But yeah, we might as well also do the letter R, and eventually at some point, somebody whose name starts with an R is going to order something from my Etsy shop, and when they do, he or she will get this sticker included with their order. I don't know about you, but one of my favorite things about Etsy is including gifts with purchase and seeing if somebody has favorited any of the other things in my store, and if they have. If it's something little, I like to include that with their package. They're just a little teeny tiny one. And I think I'll leave it at that for that sheet. You get the idea. I'm just trying to give a general idea. But then here is where we find crafter's gold. So Mary Maxim, it's kind of a hobby catalog for people who like to do crafts. My mom orders a lot of their needlepoint sets. So yeah, I'm going to cut this out to use as a sticker. We're going to cut that Santa Claus out. In fact, even just the first page has so many cool ideas for stickers. But there were a few others that stood out that I think would be particularly fun. These little Christmassy ornaments. I'm not so into the aesthetic of Christmassy things. That's why even though I'm making these as gifts to give that could make really cute Christmas ideas, I don't want to make all of them Christmassy. I'd like to make most of them year-round, things that you can craft with any time of year and not be sort of limited by the holiday theme or the holiday style. I'm sure I saw something in here with really pretty perfume bottles. I should have gone through in advance and marked the pages, but such as like, oh no, you know what? It wasn't in here. It was this catalog that had the cool perfume bottles. It also has that adorable, adorable snowman right here on the cover that we're going to use. So cute, right? Obviously this amethyst angel. Make sure I'm not cutting through 2 pages. Yeah, let's do this hummingbird and this angel. Oh, I'll do the cat too. How cute is that? It's a little paper towel holder that has a cat tail coming out from it. Not sponsored. I'm not trying to sell their products here. I just appreciate their pictures. Cute. And obviously everything left over I will recycle. These little butterflies, yeah, we might as well do those too. See guys, there's crafty gold that we can find in very unexpected places, and you don't need to spend a lot of money to do some fun crafting. Here comes Oreo. Hi Oreo. Please don't stand right there, Doodle. Here, I can get her. Yeah, she's gonna sit on my lap. Thank goodness, not on the magazine. Hey, good girl. These would be adorable little stickers. I'm gonna save that though. I'm going to use that for something else. Too bad I don't know anybody named Deborah, or else Deborah and Sarah are best friends would be a really awesome sticker to give them. I do have a cousin named Oliver, and he has a cat, so he might be getting something made of that one day. We'll see. Anyhow, somewhere in this catalog, there's a picture of a beautiful cut crystal perfume bottle, and I'll be using that to decorate my friend May's journal that I'm working on. But I think we've got enough for today's demonstration purposes. So what I'm gonna do is cut these all kind of close to the edge so as not to be wasteful, but I'm not going to fussy cut them too meticulously until it's time to actually cut them off of the sticker page. And what I'm gonna try to do is see how many I can fit at a time onto this paper. Because, you know, sticker paper, it doesn't come for free. I think I paid 15 Canadian dollars for a pack of 100 sheets. So it's not a budget breaker, but it's also not something that you want to be wasteful with. So yeah, these are magnets, but we're gonna use them as stickers. The nice thing about making stickers out of things like this too is that while you can't photocopy things like these that are intellectual property of the manufacturers, you can cut them out and use them in your collaging if you're not reproducing them, and especially if you're giving them as gifts. Yeah, we're not going to use the paper towel, we're just going to use the cute kitty. This pretty little bee. How fun is that sticker going to be? Obviously, the easiest ones to cut are those that are just a square. So yeah, you could, if you have an old-fashioned magazine somewhere, you could do all the stickers of, you know, different perfume bottles, or you could make stickers with beautiful items of jewelry. If you're lucky enough to have a jewelry catalog from somewhere, get me on that mailing list. But yeah, you can make themed sets. If you have, you also don't need to be limited to magazines and catalogs. You could do stickers like these using anything, book pages, art history texts, like beautiful images on paper. Any single beautiful paper image can become a sticker. Okay, there you go. There goes Oriole. So I think that's all I'm going to make for today. So yeah, let's see how we can utilize our space the most efficiently here. I think that's how I want to lay these out. There. And of course, I'm going to save the sticker paper around it for future projects. But in the meantime, so the back side of the next one I'm going to use, I will use as my mat for the glue stick. And it's really just as easy as making sure to cover the entire surface of the back for glue. You don't want any bit of paper left unglued, because it will make it really hard to cut out and use the sticker if it's not fully glued down. So yeah, you just glue it down like that. I think this beautiful amethyst angel sticker is going to go really well in my next crystal themed journal, the next time I make one. I'm being really careful not to overlap them. Get as close to the edge as possible without actually overlapping. Are rainbow toe socks back? I was a kid in the 90s, and of course that's when these were first all the rage. Phoebe was my favorite character on Friends, and I wanted rainbow socks because she wore rainbow toe socks. She was my favorite because her character was vegetarian. And so was I as a kid, and that made me, I got bullied for that because it was very unusual in my Alberta town at that time. Luckily now we have more of a vegan community here, but yeah, back in the day. So even where I'm going with that is that if there wasn't the cute kitty on this side, we could have made some rainbow toe sock stickers for your quirky friends or for somebody who's got an unusual style. Hey, look at that little happy bee. I think that is going to go in the journal I'm working on for my friend May as well. That little happy bee totally looks like the kind of things she would appreciate. Oops. See, for just a little something to tuck in with a Christmas card, the set of 6 butterfly stickers alone would be pretty adorable. They don't take too long to make. I'm going to use this this hummingbird. I'm going to use the next time I make a card for my mom, because she loves hummingbirds and she loves the color purple. So that purple wing would really make her happy. And she loves crystal. She loves that kind of Swarovski crystal figurines and things. And she always tells me, don't buy me these, don't buy me anything, don't spend money on me. So finding a way to give her a little something like that where she cannot accuse me of overspending would be ideal. Yeah, handmade gifts. I love giving and receiving handmade things. It's just so special. You probably do too, or else you wouldn't be watching this video. There we go. And you know what? I've changed my mind about these two. I'm just going to save them in my little ephemera scrap stash and use them for decorating pages. So yeah, now let's start with the kitty. There are a few little air bubbles from where I had glued this down. So before anything else, I'm just going to take the back side of one of these papers and just kind of, do they call this burnish? Just kind of burnish it. Just kind of rub it down so it's totally flat. There. Now it's glued down really nice and flat. And I'm just going to do my best to cut around the kitty as close as possible so that none of that background photo is visible. And now you can see why I didn't want to fussy cut these before gluing them on the sticker paper, because then I'd be stuck doing all the work twice. Oops. Jumpy, jumpy kitty. Those cute little ears. It's funny, as I'm doing this, if you hear disturbances in the background, that is one of my kitties climbing through the houseplants, which she knows she's not supposed to do. And I think, I could be mistaken, but I think my kitties like to get into trouble while I'm filming YouTube videos because they know I'm not going to yell at them if I'm filming. I'm not going to stop them. I'm not going to take away the things that they are playing with that they're not supposed to. Look at that. How adorable is that little cat sticker? And it's not something that you can just go buy in the store because you made it. Let's do the snowman. I'm also going to use this snowman in my friend May's journal because whenever she sends me journals that she's made, she includes really cool pictures and book pages and things from Saudi Arabia, where she's from. And it's so cool to see the Saudi culture come through in her arts and her crafts. And so a book that I'm working on for her, I've decided to include pages, page spreads featuring all the major holidays we celebrate here in this part of the world, just as a little bit of a cultural exchange in the form of a Happy Mail. And so for the Christmas themed spread, she's going to get this pretty crystal snowman. And don't worry, when that book is complete, I will do a full flip through on YouTube so you can see how I'm actually using these materials and what kind of things I make for my friends. I'm obviously not being too perfect about it, but the effect is still there. You can still see how cute. there we have it. Little cute cut crystal snowman sticker. I shouldn't say little cute. That's actually quite a big sticker, isn't it? Should we do all of them? No, we shouldn't do all of them. I think we should get on to our fabric textile collage stickers too. That's also going in May's book. But anyway, I will fill this up with other things and cut them out. I'll share that on Instagram. My Instagram is @_theartofgems_. So you can see the rest of them, how they look completed, if you check out my Instagram page. But for now, let's do one more sheet of stickers. These are the ones I've been looking forward to. It's kind of like save the most creative and original for last. Let's see, I'm just looking around my craft space here to figure out what I can put this on. Oh, obviously. I don't think I want anything from the front or the back of this, so I'm just gonna lay it down and use that as my gluing backdrop. A lot of YouTubers who do journals have the most beautiful, meticulously organized backdrops for their crafting work. And I've tried to do that, but when I get crafting, my stuff slips and slides around and I find it kind of breaks the flow a little. So I'm going to cover this whole sticker sheet in this pretty pink fabric that has kind of like, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but these are not just silver or gold dots. They're multicolored. They're kind of like a rainbow. They look really cool. So yeah, I'm just going to cut a piece of this, cut a little, and then try to tear it. Nope, this is not a tearing fabric, so I'm gonna have to cut the whole thing. I've switched scissors here. These are fabric scissors. When I was a kid, my mom bought these and wrote the word fabric on them, and in her words, she read me the riot act. She made it very, very clear that I was never, ever, 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 ever to cut anything with these except fabric. And that way the blades would not get dulled by paper. And it's funny because there have been times when I've wanted to cut something out really quickly and I look around and I see those scissors first, but I will still spend half an hour searching out my paper scissors if I've misplaced them, because I know better than to use the sacred fabric scissors on anything else but fabric. And it was funny, my mom gave those to me a couple months ago. I was at her house and I brought whatever journal I was working on at the time, but I forgot to bring scissors. And I asked her, do you have any scissors I can use to cut out some fabric things? And she said, you know, I still have the fabric scissors. And she never cuts anything out of fabric. So she gave them to me. And it's kind of funny that all those years that I was so afraid of making a mistake with them, I'm now grateful because they are awesome fabric scissors. So listen to your mamas. They know what they're talking about. Look at how pretty that is already. You could just cut shapes out of fabric, the fabric on the sticker paper, and it would already be super awesome. But I'm going to go a step further. I don't need that anymore. I'm going to go a step further and make sort of like fabric collages on these. I'm going to cut around the edges just so I know what surface I'm working with and I don't accidentally try to make a little cluster over the fabric that's not glued down. Now the glue stick I used is a really, really, really strong glue stick. I would not recommend gluing fabric onto anything with a lesser glue stick. I'll hold it up for you in a second so you can see. Not sponsored, just appreciative. But yeah, that's the glue stick I'm working with, thanks to my friend Kat. So now I'm just kind of going over it to make sure that there's no, see, some of the edges aren't fully glued, but that's okay because I don't think I'm going to be going all the way to the edge everywhere. But yeah, there is now our sticker base for these ones. And what I'm going to do is work with some of my scraps here. This is a fabric from my friend May. So that's a really beautiful, fancy, sort of high-end Saudi Arabian fabric. I love it. This is a piece of some sari trim, as is that. And then this is a piece of an actual net sari, just a scrap left over from my latest project. So I'm just going to get into it. I have people ask sometimes, you know, how do you bring yourself to cut up these beautiful fabrics? So here it is. I literally just see what I want to cut out and I cut it. And it's not easy at first. Like when I first started ordering beautiful sari fabrics and sari trims online to make into journals, I would hoard them for at least a month and look at them every day and think about how do I want to cut them out and what do I want to do with them. And it finally became clear to me after starting to watch more and more other artists do their journal videos that the fabrics look much more beautiful cut up and made into crafts than they do just sitting there in a pile of supplies. And so that's kind of the key is don't be too precious about your materials. If you buy craft supplies, you're buying them to use them. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just gonna cut out maybe this one last little bit off of this fabric. And then I never throw these kinds of things away. I'll save that to decorate a journal page at some point. Now with this remnant, I was thinking of cutting out some of the strips. Do you see how it follows kind of a shape? Almost like a leaf motif, like a tropical leaf pattern. So I'm going to cut these out, just kind of following the curve. Yeah, what makes this such a cool gift for a crafty friend is that we all have different fabrics in our collections. We've all got different ways of layering and putting fabrics together. So even though somebody could conceivably make this for herself, literally any crafter could make this with fabric, no two crafters would make them exactly alike. So how you do it will be unique to you, and your friend will see and appreciate the creativity that goes into it. And this last piece I'm just going to cut like that. And there we have this. Look at these pretty little bejeweled medallions. And my thinking about these fabric cluster stickers is that they will be kind of like instant bling on a junk journal page. Like I said about the other stickers I was making here, the ones from the catalog page, when I use these, and I will use them, those that I don't give as gifts, I will definitely use in my own work. I will be sure to share them in flip through videos for those who are interested. So yeah, subscribe if you're not subscribed, because you'll see this stuff come up again. I think I'm gonna leave it at this for this one here. See, it didn't look like an Art Deco design at first with the complete sari, but cutting it out in a way that has this sort of, it almost reminds me of the way the gold is shaped and stamped in really fun medallions and jewelry. I don't know if you're a jewelry nerd like I am, but for example, like the Van Cleef and Arpels, if you look at their gold Lucky Charm symbol, 4-leaf clover things, they have, the gold has these like radiating lines that come out from the center. A lot of cloisonné enamel looks like that too, and then especially the Art Deco jewelry has this kind of a shape. This could be a brooch or a tie clip from that era. Anyhow. Yeah, with sari fabrics especially, you get a lot of jewelry looking motifs. And with these, I was very intimidated to cut them at first because I was afraid if I cut into the gold or cut into any of the embroidered parts, it would all unravel. But I've discovered, after working with, boy, maybe hundreds of different types of fabrics, some thrifted, some bought new, some gifted, with these machine embroidered pieces, they're lock stitched, so you really don't need to be too worried about that. Even if you accidentally cut into it in a place that you don't want to, it's still going to look really nice. So yeah, don't be afraid to cut up your fabrics. There we go. And maybe for now I'll just do one of these cool thingies. And like I said, I'll fill up the rest of these and share them on Instagram. So check that out if you'd like. Yeah, it doesn't take a lot of time or a lot of work, but the overall effect when we're working with textile pieces, it's just so sumptuous because it's filled with textures. One of the things my boyfriend said the first time he checked out one of my junk journals, and I love the way he worded it. He said, "Our hands love textures, so it's a treat to feel all the different fabrics." And isn't that true? It's a treat for the hands to feel all the different stitches, and it's a treat for the eyes to see all the cool colors and layers. So what I'm thinking here is just glue these things down and then kind of cut around them on this fabric. But I'm going to do some that are sort of just fussy cut, but show with some of the pink showing, and then I'll do some that are clusters and layers. Like what I'm thinking with these blue pieces is, how cool would they look? Maybe I'll glue them here, and you'll see why when I finish. I'll do some on the gold side and some on the blue side. Be like that. And then something like this. Yeah, I think that would be a fun little thing to have. It needs another color, so I'm going to cut this pretty pink flower right here. Sorry if I'm going off camera again. There, how pretty is that? I think I'm just going to do these 3 on camera to kind of give you the idea of what I'm doing here. I think I'll put a little bit of the sheer blue mesh under this one too, just so that it's got the layers and those textures that our hands love. In fact, yeah, that does really add to it, doesn't it? So now is when we'll pull out our trusty Fabri-Tac. And I'm not going to glue this completely flat to the paper because I like having the edges kind of unglued for that 3D effect that it gives. So I'm just kind of dotting some glue in the center, not being too perfect about anything here, and you'll see why when I cut them out. And now this one. I'm just gonna put a big old glob of glue here. When it comes to this more finicky stuff, it can be a little bit difficult to keep talking in the video. This is why I like doing the flip throughs more than the craft with me's, because it's easier to talk about the things in a book that's already made than it is to talk through the process of actually making. Let me know in a comment if you do these kinds of craft with me videos. Do you have any tips? How to not just go totally quiet when you're struggling with your glue bottle or cutting out your precise things. There, and that pretty pink flower in the middle. Done. So, don't worry, none of this will be wasted. I'm going to make more and more stickers to fill up this entire sticker paper sheet, but for now I'm just going to cut these ones out. You know what? I'm going to use the fabric scissors, even though there's some sticker paper here. Now this one, I'm just going to cut out following kind of the shape of the main embroidered cluster piece. And there we have it. Look at the layers. Look at how pretty that is. You'd never guess that that's a sticker. I'm just gonna even the 2 sides a little bit. Et voila! How pretty would that look added to a junk journal spread? And now this one. I got really lucky. This bright pink fabric with these sort of mirror ball spots. I found it at a yard sale in my old neighborhood. And the people throwing the yard sale, their parents had owned a fabric shop in the 80s. And so a lot of the stuff they were selling was this really blingy 1980s sort of fabric. And I got a fairly big sheet of this for under I don't think anything there in the fabrics were more than $2. So $2 for just the coolest bright fabric that's vintage, that's not the kind of thing that you see everywhere. But there. 3 fun kind of textile stickers that could be really, really pretty added to a journal spread. And they're not like any other stickers that you find out there because each one is unique. So stickers made from fabrics on sticker paper, stickers made from magazine or catalog cutouts, and where did I put them? The crystal stickers from my crystal printable kit. Let's see. They're over here. I'm one of those people who really spreads out while I'm crafting. That's why I like to craft on the floor. There's more space down here than on a table. But yeah, how sweet are these? Sets of handmade stickers for your crafty friends. And of course, they can also be used to seal envelopes with cards in them or to decorate birthday cards. These don't need to be given as gifts, but I think I would love to receive something like this that somebody else has made with fabrics or pictures that they had in their stash, because like I said, we all have a different stash. But yeah, that would have been much faster to make if I wasn't trying to speak and make it a watchable video at the same time. So I'm sure if you get into it, you'll produce many more than these, and it won't take you a full hour to do them. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little video. I hope it gave you some ideas and some inspiration, or at least a little entertainment while you do your crafty thing. And if you make anything like these, or if you work with the printables that I've shared from my shop, I would love to see what you put together. So please do tag me on Instagram if you share it there, or send me a link to your video if you post a video with something like this here. I'm always interested in my fellow crafters and what we all make. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and bye for now. Much love and happy holidays.